Hi, I'm Yaffa, and this is Transcend with Yaffa, presented by Efrat, where every woman who wants to have her baby can, and where every woman who wants to live her life with strength, dignity, and divine purpose learns how to take off the tiara and wear the crown. If you're here, welcome back. If you're just joining, welcome in. In our last solo episode, we talked about fear, about how it hides in nice outfits and whispers things like, just wait a little longer, now's not the time, you're not ready yet. We talked about dancing with dysfunction, learning to live around our pain instead of through it. And we talked about stepping into something new, the dance of dignity. But how? How do we stop waiting to be rescued and start showing up like we were born to reign? So today, I want to tell you a secret. There's a moment in every woman's life, sometimes it's quiet, sometimes it's dramatic, where she realizes that no one is coming to save her. And at first, it feels like heartbreak. But then, if she leans in, it becomes her greatest liberation. Because the truth is, she was never meant to be saved. She was meant to remember who she is. I call this shift going from princess to queen. And yes, I had my own princess era. I was living in Eretz Israel, very far, very lonely, doing everything right, smiling like I was fine, cooking meals, saying and doing all the right things, and quietly disappearing under the weight of it all. I was the spiritual good girl, the giver, the accommodator, and also the one crying behind closed doors, wondering if anyone would notice if I just stopped trying. And then I moved to Mexico and once again tried to be the perfect accommodator while struggling with a new language, new culture, extreme loneliness, and I lost my whole identity in the process. I kept waiting for someone, my husband, my friends, even Hashem, to say, hey, this is too much for you. You don't have to do it all. Come down from the tower. But the rescue never came because it wasn't supposed to. That was the moment I realized I wasn't actually powerless. I was just waiting. And waiting is not a virtue when your soul was built to lead. And looking back, I can name it now. What I was experiencing in both Israel and Mexico was something that I now call the Eshes Chayil syndrome. It's what happens when we take the idealized woman of valor completely out of context and weaponize her against ourselves. Instead of letting the Eshes Chayil be a celebration of the multifaceted, soul-rich woman we each contain, we turn her into this impossible checklist of servitude. We erase our needs, silence our feelings, and smile through the unraveling because we think that's what good wives do. I thought I had to be the perfect newlywed, attentive, accommodating, domestic, devoted. So I served my husband like a servant instead of showing up as his queen. Now, I know servant energy might look like the opposite of princess energy, but really, they're sisters because both are rooted in the same fear. If I give enough, if I'm small enough, maybe I'll finally be worthy. They both wait for something. They both hide their true selves. They both forget their power. And you know what the most painful part was for me in my story? Years later, when I finally told my husband how hard it had been for me, he said, I wish you would have told me. We would have moved to New York if you needed to be near your family. We would have made some adjustments. And that broke me because I had tried so hard to be the perfect Eshes Chayil that I never even gave him the chance to show up for me. That's why this queen energy matters so much. Princess energy is the emotional waiting room. It looks sweet and smiley on the outside, but on the inside, it's filled with silent begging. Do you see me? Do you like me? Do I matter yet? It's living your life in response mode, needing validation, needing rescue, needing the outside world to fix the storm inside you. And it's exhausting because the world was never meant to give you your crown. Now let's talk about queen energy. Queen energy isn't about dominance or ego, or I've got this, thanks anyway. It's not loud, it's not dramatic, it's softer than that, but stronger too. Queen energy says, I see myself, I lead myself, I speak up when something matters, I make decisions from dignity, not desperation, and I take ownership of my life, not because I caused every storm, but because I want to walk through it with grace. And I take ownership of my life, not because I caused every storm, but because I want to walk through it with grace. Now, here's something I've noticed. When we're stuck in princess mode, we react to everything, every look, every comment, every disappointment, every unmet need. We become emotional toddlers, totally dependent on someone else's mood to decide how we feel. But queens know how to pause, to breathe, to stay present. They know how to take responsibility for what's theirs and gently let go of what's not. They don't throw emotional tantrums, even if their inner 5-year-old wants to. They're not the child in the relationship. They're the adult in the room. And yes, sometimes they cry. Sometimes they crumble. But then they rise with intention, with self-trust, with divine alignment. Let me give you some Torah queens who lived this. Let's start with Esther. Esther was terrified, but she didn't stay hidden. When the moment came, she didn't say, this isn't fair. She stepped into her role, risked everything, and saved a nation. She crowned herself with purpose. Leah, she felt invisible, compared, undesired, rejected. But she stopped looking at what wasn't and chose gratitude anyway. She said, this time I will thank Hashem. And from her came Yehuda and Malchus and Mashiach. Let's take Rus. She didn't wait for life to be easy. She chose loyalty, light, and Hashem over and over again. She gleaned in fields, but walked with grace. And she became the mother of royalty, not because she was loud, but because she was clear. So what does this mean for you? It means this: you are not a damsel in distress. You don't need to wait to be chosen, liked, or fixed. You are a daughter of the King, and you get to rule your inner world like you know it, which means you get to choose your mindset. You get to own your voice. You get to forgive yourself for every time you gave your crown away. And you get to put it back on right away. So let me ask you something, my sweet soul sisters. Where are you still waiting to be rescued? Where are you reacting like a princess when your soul is aching to rise like a queen? What relationship, role, or challenge needs a new version of you, a wiser, calmer, more empowered version? Because you're not too much. You're not enough. You're just wearing the wrong costume. It's time to take off the tulle and the tiara. It's time to stop waiting. And it's time to lead. And the beautiful thing is that you don't need to be loud. You don't need to be perfect. Yes, you're a daughter of the King, and that means you were born a princess, but you weren't meant to stay one, because true royalty isn't about being chosen, it's about choosing. A princess waits to be seen. A queen steps forward and leads, and the greatest honor you can give your father, the King, is to rise into the woman he created you to be. You just need to remember whose daughter you are and who you've always been. And maybe that's exactly what this time of year is asking from us. As we prepare to crown Hashem King on Rosh Hashanah, we don't show up small, scared, and uncertain. We show up crowned, with head held high, not in arrogance, but in truth. Because a king doesn't want servants who shrink. He wants daughters who stand beside him with honor, strength, and devotion. This year, don't just whisper the tefillos like you're hoping he hears you. Say them like a queen, like a woman who knows who she is, who she serves, and who she's becoming. So let us end this with a soulful send-off. You are not a supporting actress in someone else's story. You're the main character in yours. You're not here to be chosen. You are here to choose. You're not here to be rescued. You are here to reign. Now go out there and wear your crown. And let's transcend together.